impact. Yeah.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Oh, your eyes do not deceive you. There are only two real professionals on this show, and we're here today doing this together. What's up, Lou?
Good morning. How we doing?
I'm good. We're going to double space. We're going to speak slowly. We're going to get through this together. And we got Bobby Portis on in a little while, which I'm sure he's got a lot of answers for us on a lot of questions. So
For sure.
we got this. We got this.
Good.
I don't love how we're starting the show. However, there have come some positive bits of news from over the pond over there in Serbia. So Jokic last night has a leg injury. This is with a little bit of time left in the first half. It's a big deal. This is obviously a huge deal. It rocks the internet. They're at 22-10, third in the West, but it's Nikola Jokic. And for a lot of us, we don't want to see this dude ever get hurt. And it's very odd to see him in pain on the ground. Preliminary reports coming out of Serbia, which is crazy to say, is that they've avoided serious injury, that it looks more of like a hyperextension situation. It came out of Serbia, which I learned a lot. I went down a rabbit hole this morning, Lou. His representation still is all over there, so makes some sense. And the Eurobasket world is on top of this because he's their baby.
He called home to mama. Mama got the news first. She spread it.
Trust me, I went this morning. I'm like, okay, it came out of Serbia. You know what? I'm good with this. But if it is true and it looks like it might be, then we've avoided something serious. He will miss some time, but it won't be like what we thought. So let's start there because you're the one that hit up our thread first. Like when you saw that, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I thought it was catastrophic, and we've always had these conversations about teams and their capabilities and how far they can go in the season and the postseason. And that conversation is always centered around the best players being healthy and being available. And when we start talking about a guy that goes out and have 55 and 16 and 15 point triple doubles, that's a major loss for any team, and especially Nikola Jokic and what he's been able to bring to the table for the Denver Nuggets. We don't have to go on a rant about how valuable and important he is to the Denver Nuggets. So when I seen him go out, I thought, man, this is bad and this is not good news. For him personally, you always want to see guys be healthy and standing on their own 2 feet. But, at the same time, how it affects the basketball world and how it affects the organization and his teammates and the goals that they set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year. So coming out of Serbia, hopefully this isn't something, like you said, I'm sure we'll get some updates today and get some confirmations on what's actually going on. But, if he avoided major injury, that's really good news for him personally and for the basketball world and everybody that's fans of the Joker.
It's crazy how you see that guy go down. It would affected me. And look, they're already without Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and Cam Johnson. This is a team that sort of had to deal with their injuries. It's a lot, and it's a lot to ask. And we've broken down the value he has to his team and what happens when he's not on the floor, much less going to miss multiple games. Let's just do that fun game that we all know and love, because they were in the middle of a road trip, right? I think it was the second game, and they're out. There's a pretty long one for them. Yeah, there you go. They're on the East Coast for a minute. Well, what are we thinking? That's just the next 10. We just
look.
picked it.
We're looking at this schedule. It's favorable for them, right? If you would say that if you had Jokic in the lineup, this would be a favorable schedule for them. But now you don't really know. On top of that, like you just mentioned, Braun is out of the lineup. Aaron Gordon is out of the lineup. Cam Johnson is out of the lineup. These are some major pieces. And now you have your MVP and you have your very best player out of the lineup. Then it just puts you in a precarious situation. So, Jamal Murray is going to have to be the guy that step up and be that. They're going to have to find some scoring somewhere. Defensively, I think this is a team that still has guys that can compete on the defensive end, but they're going to have to be able to score the basketball. This is not old school ball where you can hold teams to 80 and 90 points and try to win a basketball game. You got to go put 110, 115, 120 on the board to give yourself an opportunity. That's something they've been accustomed to doing. Like last night, they scored 127 points, and that wasn't enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they're going to have to find a new identity until he gets back on the floor, especially if it's going to be an extended amount of time. They're going to have to figure this thing out fast. And so, looking at that graphic of the schedule, Beads, it looks favorable on paper, but I don't know if they have enough talent to withstand it, especially with such a big gap. This isn't just somebody that's regular. We're talking about somebody that's averaging a triple double with 30 to go with it and shooting 60% from the field. Like I said, I don't have to go
Oh,
on and on about how valuable and important that he is to the Denver Nuggets and their schedule coming up. So it's going to be some challenges. We're going to see. It's going to be interesting.
you know what? Just to remain professional, it sucks. Like this sucks.
There
I
we
think
go.
that's how we all felt when this when this happened yesterday. And no disrespect to Miami, by the way, because they did get the win last night. We should probably shine a little light on them as well. Because don't look now, Miami Heat doing that thing they do, where you're like, oh, maybe they are gonna be a bit of a problem. 3 straight now, 6th in the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference, 18 and 15. Do they have when you watch them play? Is there enough there that you could see them as a possible 4 seed come end of season?
Possibly. Possibly. You looking at the standings right here, like the three teams that I think are solidified are going to be the top three right now. The Pistons, Knicks, Celtics. Those are going to be the teams I think that are just going to interchange and they're going to stay in those spots. Where it gets interesting to me is Toronto. Are they the real deal? Is Orlando the real deal? What are the Sixers going to do? Are the Sixers going to get in this conversation as well? I also look at Cleveland at that 8th spot. Like I don't think that's a team that stays there either. It's a lot of different conversations coming out of Cleveland, but I don't think they stay there. So that's what makes it interesting for Miami at the spot that they're in. If they can continue to play this way, I think they go forward before they go backward. But it's a lot of teams right around them in the mix that have similar situations that are in the similar position that they're in. They're trying to get better and better. So the way that they played last night, with the exception of Jokic going out in that game when he did, they're playing really good basketball and they've been playing well enough to put themselves in that conversation. But I think they cap out at 4 if they do put themselves in that conversation based on how the
Okay.
Celtics have been playing. And obviously, you have the Detroit and you got the Knicks playing really
New
good
York,
basketball
yeah.
as well in the East. So I think they cap out at 4. I think by the end of the season, once it's all said and done, I think they can walk that down.
I kind of love that the Celtics are in the 3. Like nobody had that. None of it.
Yeah.
They moved people out. It was like, all right, we're mailing it in till Tatum's, and now they're sitting at 3 with Tatum going to come back. It's a good story. By the way, we talk so much about South Beach flu and all that good stuff. The Nuggets had not lost a game in Miami since 2018. Did that shock you a little bit?
You know what? Kind of, but not really. Once you look at their roster, like they might have the right
Mm.
group of guys. You know what I mean? Like
Are you
I
trying to
don't
say
know
they're
about
nerds, Lou? Are you saying that they're nerds?
I wouldn't call them nerds. Maybe going out just isn't their cup of tea. You know what I mean? Everybody has their vices. Everybody has something that
Fair.
they like to do. Miami probably just not those guys type of town, or they're just responsible enough to go out and handle business, and it don't matter. I know guys and I know groups just like that. Hey, we're responsible enough. We're gonna go out. We're gonna hang out, and we're gonna come in and kick your ass too and get up out of here. You
I
have
love that.
teams like that have those identities as well. But listen, Bam Adebayo is one of their best players on that team. Tyler Hero is one of the best players on that team. So when you start talking about matchups, you got Jamal Murray and then you got Jokic. They're probably going to win those matchups head to head a lot of the times based on how they've been able to play. Those guys are world champions. And when they come into South Beach, they carry themselves as such. And they've been able to do that since almost, over a quarter of a decade now. So, Miami is probably one of those type of towns that it just doesn't affect them and it doesn't bother them more so than anything. They're probably more motivated to play there than anything. So it
You are
works.
right. You can go out and not be a complete useless waste of space the next day.
Oh,
Like it
trust
is
me.
doable.
Trust me.
I know. Do you know that, Lou? Do you know that you can do
I,
that?
trust me. I listen. Sometimes because you know what, Beetle, I'm gonna tell you what happens. Sometimes you could party to the point where it scares you to play.
Oh, that's
That's
fun.
what I'm talking about.
Good
There's
Lord,
our
Penny.
third host right there. Winnie, get
I'll
on
grab
camera.
that. Good Lord. It's gonna be one of those days. All right, just
No,
just
but
keep going.
sometimes you might party to the point where it scares you to play good because you're like, if I don't
Why?
play good, I'm because it's gonna be noticeable that I'm out here not my full self. So it puts you in a mindset of being super focused, super locked in, paying attention to every little detail before you go out on the court to make sure that you're able to do your job and you don't stand out and you don't look stupid.
Well, shout out Denver. Shout out Denver. You're
Shout
like
out to
the example that we will look to from here on out. I was putting it off for a while, but you know what? We do have